Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. This is Della Chris. I am going for my VBAC after 2 C-sections, a natural birth, and a birthing center. I successfully had a VBAC with my last baby, and with this one, I'm trying to do the same thing, just in a birthing center. And so one of the things I keep talking about in all my videos is mindset, mindset, mindset. And so for me, one of the things that helps me get my mind right is reading books. And so I wanted to share with you guys 3 books that I'm really focusing in on that are helping me get my mind right, helping me get in the zone for birth. I'm about 2 months away, so I'm 31 weeks, and I'm excited, but also I'm trying to get focused. I just feel like there's so many distractions around me this time. And so reading always gets me back in. So these are books that I swear by. I'll try to link them below if I can get all that stuff to work. But I want to share with you guys these books. So this one I used for my last birth. I don't know, y'all can't see it very well in the video, but the Mama Natural Week by Week Guide, Pregnancy and Childbirth. This thing is thick and it's a lot of reading, but you don't have to read it through like a novel. Think of it more as like a textbook or a reference guide. I think last labor I actually read it page by page, and it was so insightful. The things that I wish I would have known with my first 2. So definitely this is a must have. I even will put sticky notes for stuff that I want to try or want to buy, like raspberry leaf tea, things like that. If there's a recipe in here that helps. It goes from everything from morning sickness, like there's a, let me see if I can show y'all, a morning sickness little smoothie recipe there. I mean, everything. Talks about sleep. And I know you can get this stuff on apps, but I just like having it in a book. So this is something I swear by. Most libraries carry this book. It is so good. It talks about, one thing I really like is in labor, it's every stage, y'all, all the way through labor and after. So the 4 trimesters, what they call it, the 4th trimester, I guess. But it talks about pain relief, how having a natural labor doesn't necessarily mean you don't have to have pain relief. So it just tells you different methods that can help relieve pain. So if you're considering having a natural birth, if you're considering anything like that, this is your go-to book. The next one, and that one is by Cynthia Mason, and I'll link them. But this one, I just want you to kind of see it. Helps me when I see the book. Supernatural Childbirth, Experiencing the Promises of God Concerning Conception and Delivery. This is a super quick book, and it is very much just how you can get your faith right, almost. So if you're, it is Christian based. If you're a Christian, it just gets your mind right and God's promises for us, and helping you claim those and helping you just experience birth. Almost, I think, like redemption birth. You just gotta read it. It was so good. I read it last time. In the back it says you'll learn how to put your faith principles into action for your very own supernatural childbirth, how you can be a living example of God's promises in action, how to deal with fear during pregnancy and delivery. It is so good. So I'm going to definitely be reading through this again. My favorite go-to book that I'm reading currently right now is, I don't know if I say it right, Anna Mae's Guide to Childbirth. And here's what it looks like. In the front it says, my most fervent prayer for all women is that they read this book and heed its wisdom. In doing so, they will remember their women's wisdom and never forget it. And it is, she's also the author of Spiritual Midwifery. I need to read that book. I've never read that book, but it is so good. This book, the beginning part of this book is just stories of women who gave birth on the farm, and that's where that's the book is kind of, a lot of its stories are based out of. And it's just a place where people go that really believe that women's bodies are meant to do what they do. And so it just shows the studies time and time again, and how having a midwife, having babies outside of hospitals is so healing and it has so many benefits. And just what I like to do, I find myself reading these stories, and they're real stories, but I find myself reading them and getting lost in these women's birth stories in a way that I can then begin to visualize my own birth. And so It's so good. It eliminates any fear for me, and they're very honest, but the language that they use around things that happen, and it just really helps. It gets you immersed into this culture. So I highly recommend this one. I highly recommend this one. I think it's a reading for students who are studying to be a midwife, and it should be, because it's so good. I believe at the end, I haven't got to the end yet, they do talk a lot about pain medication, or just kind of different procedures and stuff, and how that can work. But I love it. Even the concept of the farm where women live and birth babies, and I just, oh my gosh, if I could give birth there, I would, but I can't, obviously. It's too far away. But this is everything. I'm really enjoying this, and really just reading is causing me to slow down and get my mind right, get focused on what's to come, because I'm super excited. So I recommend you get these 3 books. I recommend you just take the time to read them, and as you read them, begin to visualize and ask the Lord what it is that you want for your own birth and your own labor, because I mean, if he did it for them, he can do it for you. So I love you guys. Let me know if you have any questions. Also, I know there's one specifically for Black women. It might be a version of this first book, the Mama Natural. I don't know, but I couldn't find it. So if you know which one I'm talking about, will you please comment that below, and I'll make sure to find that and link that in there, because I wanted to read that too, but I haven't had time. These 3 I keep on my bookshelf and I reread, so I have those. But yeah, any recommendations that you have that have been helpful, let me know. I would love to see it. Leave it in the comments below. Love you guys.